Welcome to this week's episode of 60 Seconds with the Superintendent. Well, today I'm in Miss Medaglia's class at Whitney Elementary School, kindergarten class, to share with you some exciting news. You know, we use a lot of data when we make decisions for our students, and we learned this year that we have some exceptional math students in this class. Let's take a look at how our teachers collaborated to generate and develop some exciting experiences to grow those math skills.
200, this is 2. So the number is 102.
At the beginning of the school year, I saw that my students were very successful, so it made me very excited. But I realized that they needed to be challenged, and I needed to give them high expectations. I talked with Mrs. Hawk, our principal, and she said, well, why don't you reach out to Mrs. Ambrosiak?
481.
She hopped right on board, came in, we had some conversations about how my students could continue to be challenged. So right now that we're working with place value in kindergarten, which is fantastic. My students are building 3-digit numbers. They can understand and explain why a number is what it is, like 100, why is it 100? It's been really fun collaborating with Mrs. Ambrosiak, having her in our classroom.
10,
20, 30, 40.
As the gifted intervention specialist, I typically work with 3rd through 5th graders. And so I was super excited when Mrs. Medaglia came and asked me for math enrichment opportunities for kindergartners. First, I was a little like, oh my gosh, kindergartners, what am I going to do? That's a little bit out of my realm. But we sat down and we talked and we figured out where their needs were, and we were looking for something that wouldn't overlap with what the 1st grade was doing, but would authentically engage these kindergartners and keep pushing them forward just like everyone else.
1 is an O.
So we're constantly assessing throughout the school year with summative and formative assessments. AIMSweb is a big one. So it's giving us a lot of data to use, and that really helps us direct our instruction. Using that data, I noticed that my students are getting things like counting to 100 already, getting all their letters and sounds.
Oh, good, I see.
I always have high expectations for my students, so that shows me that, wow, they need even higher expectations, and I want to continue to challenge them and make sure that they're successful.
That's how you would get up to 1,000.
They were doing bags of 10.
I started by reading a book about big numbers with them. So brought in a little bit of literature. We sat in a circle. We stopped. I was asking them questions. And in that, they were showing me what they know about math and big numbers and their number sense. It was sort of a work in progress that way. Having worked with the older grades, I know where they have to go. And so I just used that information to say, okay, now that I know this about them, we're going to start here and bridge that road to 1st grade with place value blocks, decomposing and composing numbers, which is really pretty big ideas for kindergartners. And they could do it. There were some challenges and some laughs that we had along the way, but they could do it. And it was pretty cool.
My kindergarten team, they're not only my colleagues, but my friends. A little part of each of us comes up with this amazing idea, and I love talking with them. And I've been sharing what I've been doing with Mrs. Schmersel and Mrs. Ortenzi, and they've been utilizing it as well. And it's just all about sharing, collaborating with each other.
So this is another example of a great collaboration between 2 phenomenal teachers to enrich not only the academics, but the lives of our students. You know, to take our youngest learners, and typically we start our gifted services in 3rd grade, but to partner with our gifted intervention specialist, Ms. Ambrosiak, starting in kindergarten, to bring place value and other concepts to life is just remarkable. As always, thanks for watching, and go make it a great Mustang week.